hit some anytime goal scorers as well as safe shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Pocket with Jo. Hey, good morning, everyone. Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Pocket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV, on X as well as YouTube. I hope everyone's having a great start to their Sunday. We've got awesome games out there on the ice. Game 4, 4 game 4s today with 3 home dogs. So we're going to break into all of those games here just in a second. Just want to update you on yesterday's if you didn't tail yesterday's games. We did cash both teams to score in the first period between the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Lightning pushing that game over. 5-1 win for the Tampa Bay Lightning, so they're alive in this series still. The Vegas Golden Knights were able to get the win in overtime versus the Minnesota Wild. It looked like that game was so close going to double OT, but Vegas was able to pull out that 4-3 win. Both teams were able to score in that first period. It was a higher scoring game, really, than I think a lot expected. That total was a 5.5 at close. So 4-3 win for the Vegas Golden Knights. I was riding the Minnesota Wild and their team total over the 2.5, so that nicely cashed for us. Was Kaprizov's 28th birthday yesterday, and he was unable to get a goal. So kind of shocking there. The birthday boy couldn't get it done. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators, we got the Sens on that money line. They were scrappy, able to get the win in OT. So great performance out of the Ottawa Senators, staying alive in that series. It will now head back to Toronto for game 5 between those two. And then the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche shut out the Dallas Stars. Nice big win for Colorado yesterday. We're able to get them on the puck line in the first period, laying the half a goal. So they won that first period 2-0, nicely covering that half goal puck line for great plus money. So really solid day out there on the ice yesterday. We've got a lot of games to go over, 4 games today to go over. Again, like always, we'll do the breakdown at the end of the show, the recap. So good morning, Elvis, and good morning, Blue. Let's make some freaking money out there today. The Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues. This one is kicking off early, you guys. It is a 1 p.m. Eastern puck drop. It's just after 1. It's like 1:10 Eastern. So that is just over an hour from now. Plenty of time to get your bets in. There's a lot we're going to look at in this one. Now, the St. Louis Blues did win game 3. It was a great performance in game 3 by St. Louis, with them having the last change, and being able to get the matchups they want out there on the ice. Because of that, we saw that offensive performance that we've seen all of the regular season out of St. Louis. They just exploded on their home ice, which is something that this team does regularly. Their home ice advantage has been so strong during the regular season. And I do think in this one, Winnipeg has to find a way to shut them and lock them down. Look for the Winnipeg Jets to come out stronger defensively. They can't allow the Blues to go on that power play, because that conversion on that power play has been so strong for the St. Louis Blues so far in this series. And it's unbelievable what they've been able to do against the Winnipeg Jets team that I really did have the feeling that their defense would come out that bit stronger. They are built on their defense, and a lot of people looking to throw Connor Hellebuck under the bus. Now, he did have a bad game in the last game. He was pulled in the last game after allowing 6 goals. Okay, so they pulled him. We did see the St. Louis Blues win game 3, 7-2. Now, when we look at the first 2 games that were in Winnipeg, we saw Winnipeg win game 1, 5-3. We had that empty netter pushing us over that. Well, 5-3, we went over total no matter what. But we did see an empty netter in that. So it was more like a 4-3 style game. Game 2, we did see the Winnipeg Jets win in that lower scoring 2-1, kind of grind them out, which is how I would expect this game to be here. We know Connor Hellebuck needs to bounce back. And Jordan Binnington, I'm looking at his props today. It's 22.5. The Winnipeg Jets haven't been just firing enough shots. So I think he has a strong performance in this one. I don't know how many shots he's going to face, because we have seen the St. Louis Blues really lock down on the defensive side as well. When we look at that game 3 breakdown and how it went, the Winnipeg Jets went 1-4 in the power play, so only converting on 1 opportunity. They had 59 hits, so super physical, but only 19 shots on goal. When we look at Binnington today, he has a safe shots on goal prop of 22.5. I can't take it, because when they only got 19 in the last game, if the Blues are able to come out that strong defensively, in this game. We'll see limited shots, but I do think some shots can convert, those high danger shots coming in on Jordan Binnington. When we look at Connor Hellebuyck, though, that bounce back's needed, you guys. We saw the St. Louis Blues go 3-8 on the power play the last game. So that's special teams. That kill has to come out strong for the Jets today. 54 hits, 28 shots on goal. So they were able to produce those shots on goal. They outshot the Winnipeg Jets 28-19. I expect the Winnipeg Jets to clean it up defensively a lot more, but for Connor Hellebuyck to have that bounce back. Looking at Connor Hellebuck's numbers, he's got a save shots on goal number of 21.5. Minus 130 to the over. Do I like the juice? No, I absolutely don't. But I'm willing to lay a third of a unit on that. And I think you can ult it all the way up to 25 plus save shots on goal, coming in at plus 168. All we need in this one is to be that lower scoring game where it's like 28 shots for the St. Louis Blues. Connor Hellebuyck doesn't allow those goals to come in, maybe 1 or 2 goals, and then we go over that 25 plus save shots on goal. So that's what I'm expecting in this game. I'm expecting for that defensive lockdown. Because of that, I got to look at that first period. I know those first periods under 1.5 have such struggles hitting in some of these games as both of these teams look to open up that scoring. But I really do think this has to be that goaltending battle. I'll take the under 1.5 goals in this game. And then I'm going to look at the Jets to just win it. So current odds on FanDuel, we're looking at the Winnipeg Jets at minus 128. More money's coming in on the St. Louis Blues, and I understand why. Because this team is so good at home, they were able to just dominate in Game 3. But I don't think the Winnipeg Jets allow them to get another win here. So minus 128 on the money line for the Winnipeg Jets. I'll look at that. And I'm flirting with putting a half a unit on that and a half a unit on the Winnipeg Jets. Laying 1.5 on that puck line at plus 198. I do think we can get the empty netter in this game. I believe the Jets win this 3-1, at worst 4-2. So I'm going to stay at the full game total. I expect it to start off slow. One thing I will be doing, though, you guys, if we do see those 2 goals quick in the first period, I'll be coming back in on that second period under 1.5 goals as well, because I do think first or second period, we do see that cash. I don't see both of those being those higher scoring periods. I really do have faith, though, that first period starts off that defensive battle. So I will take a sprinkle on the Jets on that puck line, laying 1.5 goals for that great plus money line as well. And then I'm going to look at the St. Louis Blues team total. I think the team total of the St. Louis Blues at 2.5 is just too high. I'll take that under 2.5 goals for the St. Louis Blues at minus 118. To take this bet, you have to believe that Connor Hellebuyck had a bad game in Game 3. Now, I'm hearing fans across the board in the NHL saying, well, it's Connor Hellebuyck in the playoffs. I believe that Connor Hellebuyck will be better for the rest of these series. He had a bad game in the last one. The St. Louis Blues played a fantastic one. They were able to come out, really get past his defense as well. 28 shots on goal. The Winnipeg Jets defensively need to clean that up as well. So I do think the way for the Blues to win this is they have to play that gritty style of hockey. That is the Blues recipe to get the win here, because what they did in Game 3 that they didn't do in Game 1 and 2, they fired that puck at will at the net, but then they had those players standing in front, that traffic in front of the goal, taking multiple shots after shots after shots on Connor Hellebuyck and squeaking it in. That kind of gritty hockey, I have to turn to Jake Neighbors to get a goal for the St. Louis Blues. Jake Neighbors for the anytime goal as well. You guys, great plus money. You know he's a nuisance in front of that net looking to get those gritty shots. So he's coming in at plus 400 for the anytime goal. I'm going to look, though, at the Winnipeg Jets as well. Kyle Connor, of course, I like the Winnipeg Jets to win, but Kyle Connor on the power play. Now, he was quiet in the last game. We really don't see Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele being quiet in multiple games. So the power play conversion, they went 1-4, so they got the chances in the last game. They need to clean up their act, though. They allowed the St. Louis Blues 8 opportunities on the power play. That's gross. They converted 3 times, you guys. This is why I do think it has to be that lower scoring game. They have to clean it up. They can't take these penalties, and they also had struggles converting. So when we're looking at them going 1-4, I do think we have a better performance on the power play, but we're seeing a strong kill here for the St. Louis Blues. So I do think this is that lower scoring battle. The Jets need to clean up their kill. But Kyle Connor on that power play to convert for a point, coming in at plus 210. So power play point for Kyle Connor. You could look at Mark Scheifele as well, Josh Morris, Cole Perfetti. They've got so many playmakers. We know this power play is elite. So it's going to be a great matchup for these 2 teams. you'll tail that. You kind of like the Jets, or OT could be possible. Yeah, I looked at overtime in this one because I'm looking at a couple other games for overtime. The overtime coming in right around that plus 340 mark for this game. I've flirted with it a little bit, but I do think the Winnipeg Jets have more possibility to get the empty netter. It's going to be tight. So if you want to put like a half a unit on the overtime and a half a unit on the Winnipeg Jets and the puck line, you're not going to be able to hit both. But one of those should be able to cash. You're getting great plus money with both of them, almost 3-1 on your money for the overtime, and you're getting almost 2-1 for your money on the Winnipeg Jets on that puck line. I think it's going to be tight, you guys. It's going to be that empty netter. That could be the reason. Yeah, you got to look at Kyle Connor for the point today for the Jets. So he's going to be able to get those points on the board. So let's move on to the next game, you guys. We'll do the recap at the end. We got the Carolina Hurricanes facing up with the New Jersey Devils. Game 4, of course. You guys, if you haven't hit that like, subscribe, and retweet button, please do so that we keep going next season for the regular and the playoff season in the NHL Daily over here on SportsGrid TV on X. The Carolina Hurricanes taking on the New Jersey Devils. The Devils being able to pull off that win in Game 3. They're now a plus 146 underdog here at home, minus 176 for the Carolina Hurricanes. We talked about their inconsistencies on the road, you guys, and I can't trust this team on the road, especially laying that kind of juice. Now they are now 5-14 in their last 19 playoff road games. So you want me to lay minus 176? There's no way I'm going to do it. We got a total of 5.5, minus 140 to the under and plus 114 to the over in this one. Your goaltending matchup is Frederik Andersen versus Jacob Markstrom. Now, I do like Jacob Markstrom to have another strong performance. Jacob Markstrom can steal the Devils this game. He needs to come out like he did in that last game. In Game 3, he saved 27 of 29 shots on his goal, winning that game 3-2 in double OT. Yeah, we saw double OT between these two teams in Game 3. It was absolutely thrilling. We saw the Devils control the faceoffs in Game 3, 55.8% of the time. They weren't able to convert on the power plays. The kill came out so strong for Carolina. Devils going 0-5 on that power play. While we did see the Carolina Hurricanes, even though they lost that game, they converted twice on the power play in their 4 opportunities. So both of their goals in Game 3 came on the power play. Not a good sign here for this team rolling into Game 4. Another reason why I couldn't hit on them. When we look at the physicality, we did see the Devils being more physical. 43 hits to 39 for Carolina. And those shots on goal just flying in. The defense of Carolina also allowing those shots. 37 shots on Frederik Andersen, while we did see Carolina only returning 27. So really impressed with the Devils. We saw the best game out of them in Game 3. Now, Game 1 and 2, we saw a 4-1 win for Carolina, a 3-1 win for Carolina. But again, they were at home. This team is a different beast on the road than they are at home. And until this team can constantly prove to me that they can win on the road, I just can't take them, especially in a situation where the Devils know this is their playoff hopes here. They have to get this win before they go back to Carolina because they know how hard Carolina is at home. So look for the New Jersey Devils to step it up. They're just getting better and better each and every single game. And the one thing that really stands out, the shots on goal comparatively. Like you look at 37 shots compared to 27, means their defense is playing sound offensively. They're able to get past the defense of Carolina here on the road. And I love it. I absolutely love what we see here for the Devils. So I'm going to take it a couple ways, you guys. One, I want to note that the New Jersey Devils in their last 14 visits, the Carolina Hurricanes in the last 14 visits to New Jersey have gone 4-10. So they haven't been able to get these wins regular season, playoff season at all. The Devils in Game 3 are they completely stepped in front of the puck. The block shots on goal, they were able to record 33 block shots. So you look at those 27 shots on goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. Well, they had 33 more attempts that were completely blocked out there by the playmakers of the Devils. So you're looking at the defense of the Devils, and the block shot market isn't up yet. After we do the recap, we'll get into those player points and we'll have another look at the block shot market here for the New Jersey Devils players, because I do think we have to go there with this game, with them getting 33 in the last game. I believe it was 32 in the game before. This team really stepping up, giving Jacob Markstrom that support in front of the goal. I love a team that is able to do this. So we'll look at that. But I do think here we take the Devils in the first period to come out strong on their home ice. First period on the money line at plus 126. And then I'll go Devils for the full game at plus 146. I think they have every ability, but I think this is going to be that tight game again that we saw in the last game. Overtime, I do think is worth a sprinkle here. It's coming in at plus 340 for the overtime bet. Now, I'm going to look at a couple players. I'm going to really stay off the total. I could see this first period going over 1.5, but because I'm already riding with the Devils in the first period, I don't want to double up in the first period of this game. We have seen those lower scoring games. We've seen those defensive battles. So I'm really cautious here with the total, because I do think if that power play starts converting for the Devils today, we could fly over that total. We could see a 2-1 style first period for the Devils. But if I had to take the first period total, I would lean to the over. But again, I'm taking the Devils first period, expecting them to get at least a goal on the board and stop Carolina, especially in that first. So when I'm looking at playmakers that I like out here, I have to take Dougie Hamilton here of the New Jersey Devils for a point tonight. I would expect it to come on that power play. Looking for that conversion, you're going to get insane plus money for Dougie Hamilton on the power play, but you can just take him for the regular point. The regular point's coming in at plus 124. I'd rather just take the regular point at plus 124 with the issues we saw on the power play in the last game for the Devils, but that regular point is so much value at plus 124. He's only got 1 point so far in this series, you guys. So I know it's a lot to ask. It was an assist, but he is on that top defensive pairing as well as on the top power play. So I do think Dougie Hamilton becomes pivotal. Now, you know, Timo Meier, Nico Hischier, great playmakers to look at. I'd look at them for their points as well, but Dougie Hamilton is my favorite for the New Jersey Devils. And when we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, it's hard to ignore those inconsistencies out there. They've got so many strong playmakers like Aho, but I'm going to look down the list at Taylor Hall. I really like what Taylor Hall has been able to do since joining Carolina, and I think it was a great addition for them, giving them that depth. Taylor Hall for the point today. You guys know I'm a sucker for plus money. Where you're laying juice with Sebastian Aho, you look at Taylor Hall for the point. He's coming in at plus 116 for a player that has had 2 assists in game 1, but nothing in the next 2 games. So the last 2 games he's been quiet. You did see 2 assists in that game 1. I do think Taylor Hall can get on the board at plus 116. So give me the Devils first period on the money line at plus 126, Devils for the game at plus 146, Dougie Hamilton for a point at plus 124, and Taylor Hall for a point from Carolina at plus 116. And if I had to take that first period, I do lean to the over. Yeah, need a win today. Absolutely. What's the best bet for the Jets game? We're definitely going to go with the St. Louis Blues team total to the under if you're looking for my best bet in that one. Good morning, Larry. The games have been so fantastic out there. Let's make some freaking money is right. So you guys, we're going to jump into the last 2 games, then we'll get into that recap. If you can hit that like, hit that retweet, and subscribe button, I'd so greatly appreciate it. It's going to mean the show will go live every day next season of the NHL playoffs as well as the regular season. So Washington versus Montreal is our next game. 6:30 Eastern puck drop on this one. The Washington Capitals are a minus 128 favorite. We then see the Montreal Canadiens at home here at plus 106 on that money line. We're seeing a little bit of movement here. Total is high, 6.5. Now, I just want to see if we're getting any confirmation of goaltending in this one, because both of these goaltenders were removed from the last game. Now, it does look like Logan Thompson, not Charlie Lindgren tonight. So Logan Thompson did leave that last game. Little surprised that he is going to make an appearance between the pipes tonight. He was listed day to day. He left the last game needing assistance, not putting any pressure on his left leg. Expect those shots to be just firing on Logan Thompson in this game. I think that was probably a hard move for a coaching staff to decide to do. Logan Thompson is a great goaltender, but if he's not at 100%, this Montreal team is young, it's scrappy, it's talented. They get those high danger shots, and if he can't move properly between the pipes, well, that's just complete win here for the Montreal Canadiens. I'd be saving Logan Thompson for when they go back to Washington, but understandable why they would have started their better goaltender. He might be at 100%, maybe playing a little bit out there going off the ice. But we did see Sam Montembeault leave the last game as well, lower body. So question marks on with him when he will be returning. But Dobbs coming in to goal. Now, Dobbs was thrown into that last game when it was a 2-2 game. So he was able to get them that win. We did see the Montreal Canadiens win at 6-3. So he only allowed one goal. I was really impressed with what we saw out of Dobbs. And remember when Dobbs first came out, made his NHL debut, he stood on his head, and he stood on his head for a couple of games. So we could see that in this one. He was super emotional after the game, saying he was afraid, he was excited, he was in tears, right? I love what we see out of these young goalies out there on the ice. So super excited to see him. I hope he has success in this game. The Washington Capitals, we know they're firing away. They're getting those high danger shots. They were able to win game 1, 3-2 in overtime. So tight game, right? Game 2, they came out, they won it 3-1. They got the empty netter. So that was really a 2-1 game. Game 3, we did see Montreal with last change be able to just capitalize on that game, get a 6-3 big win. In game 3, we saw Montreal convert on the power play, 2 of 5 power play attempts they were able to convert on, and they also got a shorty, you guys, which is huge for this team. They were so physical, 45 shots, and you look at their shots on goal. They outshot the Washington Capitals 40-21. Yeah, only 21 shots by the Caps in the last game. They weren't able to convert on the power play, 0-2, and they had 26 hits. So Montreal played a fantastic game at home. That home crowd got in behind them, and they just battled that one out. I do think they're worth a shot at getting another win here. Now that money line has moved for Montreal. Let's just double check there's been no movement. It's coming in at plus 106. So you can still grab Montreal at plus 106. Patrick Liney's listed day-to-day for this team. But I do think with or without him, Montreal can get the win. We saw Lane Hudson really step up in the last game. Demidov is getting those opportunities, yet to see him get a goal. Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. I do think Montreal takes this series back to Washington tied 2-2 apiece. You could look at some team totals here. I'm not absolutely in love with them. Montreal's team total over 2.5. It's way too juiced at minus 166, but I can see them scoring 3 goals to be able to get the win in this one. The Capitals team total over 3.5 plus 120. Their under 3.5 is highly juiced, like minus 180, but I do think they stay under before I take it over. That's if Dobbs can have the performance that we saw in the last game. It's asking a lot. Again, I would look at Demidov, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Lane Hudson for their points. Do a round robin kind of parlay of those. On the other side for the Washington Capitals, it is Dylan Strome, Ovechkin. You got to look at both of those playmakers. But I'm going to stay off player props really in this game. I'm just going to roll with Montreal straight up on the money line. Now, another thing you could do, you guys, because I am liking the Devils and I am liking the Montreal Canadiens, we know those are going to be tight battles. You could take the Devils plus 1.5 on the puck line, parlayed with Montreal plus 1.5 on the puck line, and that's coming in at plus 118 for the 2 legs. I don't love doing that because the puck line juice is so high on the Montreal Canadiens. It's not too bad on the Devils at minus 188. But on Montreal, it's minus 235. We know the fear of the empty netter. So I think if you believe those teams are going to win, you're better off just taking a shot on the money line. If you get one of them, you're going to, especially if you get the Devils, you're going to get paid more than you would if you did a puck line parlay and have one of them ruin it. So let's move on to the last game. Then we'll get Blue the play of the day. So the last game is the LA Kings taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Now, I'm going to be sitting here completely in love with the LA Kings. Can win this one in Edmonton tonight, but it's going to be a hard battle. You saw the momentum shift with the coach's challenge of goaltender interference in that last game, and it allowed the Edmonton Oilers in the third period, late in the third, to rack up 4 goals, and 2 of those goals came within 10 seconds of each other. It was absolutely insane what Edmonton was able to do, but it was just a small outburst of offense. And I'm not really buying into the fact that Edmonton's going to have that success against the LA Kings 2 games in a row, especially with 7 goals. Now, I do think it should be a higher scoring game, though. You look at Skinner expected back. You got to wonder what his mindset is after not playing in game 3. We're still waiting to see goalie confirmation. So maybe they won't even start Stuart Skinner. Or maybe they will go to Pickard, who was able to get them the win in the last game. The LA Kings on the other side, Darcy Kuemper absolutely needs that bounce back today. We saw the LA Kings win the first 2 games at home, 6-5 in game 1. 6-2 in game 2. And again, that game 3, Edmonton took the win at home 7-4. 4 goals in the third period. We saw Edmonton control those faceoffs 59.3% of the time. They finally broke through on that power play, which was a huge issue in game 1 and game 2. The kill of LA in game 1 and game 2 was elite. Now, we saw on game 3, that power play, every time they got the power play opportunity, Edmonton converted. So for the Kings to get the win, they have to stay out of the box. Now that power play is firing. We know how elite it can be out there on the ice. So they went 2-2 on the power play, 39 hits, 36 shots on net. The LA Kings have to do a better job defensively, stepping in front of that puck, getting those block shots as well. Game 3, we saw a 2-2 conversion on the power play. So the Kings power play is deadly. Another reason why I cannot look at this game to go to the under is the LA Kings' ability to convert now, or this whole series on the power play in Edmonton now. 31 hits and 28 shots on goal. It was a major issue in that third period. What happened out there? Expect an intense game out here. Physical battle. These 2 teams getting those hits, taking those shots, and it's going to come down to if Darcy Kuemper can have that bounce back here in Edmonton, which I do think he has, but we're going to play it a little bit safer. Again, I was talking about that power play for the Kings and how strong it's been. It's converted 53.8% so far in this series. It's outstanding. So if you're looking at Kings props today, we're going to look at the power play points for sure. So looking at this game, I'll take it over 1.5 in the first period. It's coming in though at -144. I'll put a half a unit on that. It hit in game 1 and game 3. We didn't see it hit over 1.5 in game 2. I believe the LA Kings won game 2 1-0 in the first period. Both teams to score in the first period. It hit in game 3 for us, and I do think it hits here again in game 4 with Skinner and Darcy Kuemper allowing some early goals to come in. So first period, both teams to score at +148. And then I'm going to look at the overtime. I think this one goes to OT. And then when it gets to OT, you guys, it is an absolute coin flip. This could be a game where we see double overtime. Edmonton will be so hungry not to allow this series to go back to LA 3-1. And the LA Kings will be looking to get that 3-1 lead in this series. So look for overtime in this, +340 for overtime. We're going to look at Kempe for the power play points today. He has been just elite out there. 2+ points for him, as well as coming in right around the +300 mark. He has 4 goals and 5 assists during this series thus far. So you can't deny Kempe. Connor McDavid in game 3 woke up. He did wake up in that one game in LA as well in that final period. But Connor McDavid, 3 points in the last game. He had 1 goal and 2 assists. So 2+ points for Connor McDavid. While it looks like a good bet, because if Edmonton's staying competitive, Connor McDavid has to be getting those points. I don't like the price, you guys. You're almost like you're +110 for Connor McDavid to get 2+ points. You're almost 3-1 to your money at +300 for Kempe to get 2+ points. So I can't take Connor McDavid. I think if you're looking further down the list on the Edmonton Oilers, we know like Corey Perry's been stepping up. Evan Bouchard for 2+ points coming in at +320. That's the more kind of value that I want to get out there. He's been getting extra time out there on the power play shifts as well. So you could look at Evan Bouchard to come out nice and strong. So I'd rather take depth players here for Edmonton other than, Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, because the books are going to make you really pay for those players. But I do think the Kings convert again on the power play. So it's going to be a really fun game. We're going to do play of the day for sure. We'll get into that right after we do the recap. Okay. Recap time, you guys, right at the 29-minute mark. The Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues puck will be dropping in 30 minutes here. Look for Connor Hellebuck to bounce the heck back. Give me Connor Hellebuck for over 21.5 save shots on goal, coming in at -130 for a half a unit. I'm going to ladder that up to the alt number 25+ save shots on goal as well for the other half of the unit at +168. Now, I do think as long as Connor Hellebuck stands on his head like I expect, the Winnipeg Jets take the win in this game. I'll look at the Winnipeg Jets straight up on the money line to get the win. I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 goals. I expect this to be that defensive battle that we saw in game 2. I will still look, though, at this to be a game in which the Winnipeg Jets probably cover that puck line. So I'll put a sprinkle on the puck line bet because I really do see this playing out either 3-1 because of an empty netter or 4-2 because of an empty netter. So I won't take the full game total, even though I'm expecting that lower defensive game. I think the empty netter could ruin it if we do see that 4-2, right? Like if we got a 3-2, I won't take this one to OT. I'm liking the rest of the games to overtime, but this is going to be a tightly contested physical battle out there. The St. Louis Blues went so strong on the power play, 3 of 8 in the last game. I'm not seeing them get all those opportunities. The Jets clean it up in this game. So Kyle Connor was quiet last game. Give me him the power play point at plus 210. Give me Jake Neighbors for that gritty goal in front of Connor Hellebuck at plus 400. And give me the Blues team total under 2.5 goals at minus 118. The Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils. I think Jacob Markstrom stands on his head. We don't have the save shots on goal props yet. We'll double check before the end of the show, but I'm looking for him to have another really solid performance. I like the Devils in the first period at plus 126. The Devils for the full game at plus 146. This game to go to overtime is worth a sprinkle at plus 340. The players I'm looking at, Dougie Hamilton for the point for the Devils at plus 124, and Taylor Hall for the point for the Carolina Hurricanes at plus 116. The Washington Capitals and the Montreal Canadiens. We will see Logan Thompson. I don't know how good he is. He wasn't able to put pressure on his leg leaving the ice in the last game. Sam Montague won't be in net for Montreal either. I'm expecting Dobbs to come out with that strong performance. Maybe a little bit of nerves here, but I'm hoping that the Montreal Canadiens with last shift can do what they did in that last game and get the win. So give me Montreal straight up on the money line. This is a game I'm very, very limited on those player props. I don't want to actually touch any, but if you're going to look at something, Demidov, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki for their points, and Lane Hudson for Montreal, Dylan Strome, Ovechkin for the Washington Capitals. I'm not playing anything, you guys, for player props in that one. The LA Kings and the Edmonton Oilers. I want the Kings to win. Can they win here? I'm not going to step in front of the Oilers on their home ice, especially with that offensive production we saw in the third period with 4 goals, but I will look at this one to start off intense. I do think those goals come in the first period. The LA Kings need to clean a lot of stuff up out here. They have to get that kill back to the way they saw in game 1 and game 2. But Edmonton, with the last change, with those matchups that they want out there on the ice, were able to finally break through on that power play. Give me the first period over 1.5 goals for these teams to start off with that high energy, that physical play, hitting both goaltenders as well. So the first period over 1.5 at minus 144, both teams to score at plus 148. The overtime bet here at plus 340. And then the power play points for the LA Kings. The LA Kings have been converting on the power play 53.8% of the time in this series. I would look at Kempe for 2+ points, the power play point for Kempe as well. And then Evan Bouchard on the other side for his 2+ points, definitely worth a sprinkle at plus 320. So that's the game recap. My favorite player props. We're going to be looking at favorite goal scorers. Yeah, we'll do the favorite goal scorers for sure. So favorite player props, favorite goal scorers in these games. You got to look first at Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor to be quiet in that last game. I do expect that power play point to come via the goal. So if you want to just look at Kyle Connor for the goal, you're not going to get as much value as the power play point coming in at plus 210, but I like it. And then I love Jake Neighbors tonight. I know I'm high on Connor Hellebuck, but Jake Neighbors for that gritty goal at the value you're getting at plus 400, I definitely think is worth it. I would look at Timo Meier and Dougie Hamilton and Jasper. I would look at Timo Meier, Nico Hischier, and Dougie Hamilton for the Devils. I think they do have that solid performance. Now, if I'm looking at one for the goal, it would be Timo Meier to be able to get the goal. So if you want that, but I love Dougie Hamilton for his point tonight, more so than I like Taylor Hall of the Carolina Hurricanes because I am riding with the Devils. And then I would just the Kings. It's got to be Kempe for the power play point, Kopitar and Fiala. And then you guys know, who do I love out there of the LA Kings? If you said Byfield, you know me so well. Byfield is that young player that's really stepping up, especially in this series here. I do think Byfield is worth a look to get another goal in the playoffs. He's coming in at plus 270. We were getting him at like 4-1 to our money when we started this series. Now plus 270. We're losing that value, but I do think you look at Byfield. If you want to take anyone from Edmonton, we know Leon Draisaitl has been a complete beast out there. He's plus 115, though. It's crazy when you look at the value, the lack of value you're getting. Kuzmenko, though, for the Kings, another good look at plus 330. So, you guys, it should be a great night out there on the ice. Your best finger red number one, my best bet today. Okay, so best bet, it's got to be the Devils. I think everyone is doubting what this Devils team can do. And against an inconsistent Carolina Hurricanes team, like I said, until the Carolina Hurricanes can prove to me that they can win a game, I'm going to bet against them on the road. They just can't get these wins on the road. They've been absolutely struggling. The Devils, we saw that major step up in that last game. Now, should Carolina be able to answer back? They should be able to, but I don't think they do in this one. Give me the Devils for my best bet on this slate today. It's kind of hard rolling with the Devils, but then I'd also look at Connor Hellebuyck for his save shots on goal today. I think he's going to be stellar between the pipes. So much doubt out there for Connor Hellebuyck in the playoffs. People saying they're the reason the Jets will lose this series is Connor Hellebuyck, and I think Connor Hellebuyck hears all of that. He's going to answer back. Yeah, he had a bad game in the last game. Connor Hellebuyck over 21.5 save shots on goal, minus 130. To 25 plus save shots on goal, plus 168. I do want to look at the Devils and that block shot market before I let you guys go. See if we're getting any of those. So when you go over to FanDuel, it's on the same tab as the shots. So then you got to go down when you look at it. So the block shot market here. We're going to just scroll down. Dougie Hamilton, you got to take him for 2+ block shots on goal for any value. It's coming in at minus 110. I just want to have a quick look at how many block shots Dougie Hamilton has had in the last couple of games, because he would be your go-to. I know I'm already looking at Dougie Hamilton for the point, but I really love what he brings to this Devils team. He's so strong on the blue line, and he's so strong at getting those block shots as well. So just quickly pulling up Dougie Hamilton's game log information here. Bear with me, you guys. In the last game, he did have 3 block shots. It was a huge difference out there compared to game 2, in which he had 0 block shots, and in game 1, he had 1. But you look at him during the regular season versus Detroit, he steps up when he needs to, those 4 block shots. I would look at Dougie Hamilton to continue to be able to do that. So the 2+ block shots at minus 110, you can take him up to 3+ block shots coming in at plus 290. I would take the 3+. And then, yeah, that's all I would look at. I'm looking at some of the other players and what they've been able to do for those block shots, you guys. Brett Pierce, another one that we could look at here. So Brett Pierce, strong defenseman out there for them. He did have 6 and 6 in the last 2. So Brett Pierce to step in front of that puck today, actually, it's great value. So the 3+ block shots is as high as you can take him. That's coming in at plus 125. When he had 6 block shots in both of the last 2 games, you got to take a chance on Brett Pierce here of the New Jersey Devils. That's a great bet. Yeah, the 2+ is minus 250 for him. It's too bad you can't parlay these together for those block shots. But again, 33 block shots in the last game for the New Jersey Devils. I just can't say no. Larry, you always make me laugh. Sweet parlay of the day. Anytime goal. Byfield, Neighbors, Kyle Connor, and Nick Suzuki. God, I love it. That would be a great parlay. Let us know, Larry, what odds you're getting. I love Byfield. I love Neighbors. I love Kyle Connor. Nick Suzuki has to come out and answer for them for sure. Winning bets today. Habs fan, booing American. Don't boo the American national anthem. That is for sure. That's not cool, but let's see the Habs be able to get the win. It's great to see each and every one of you here today. So let's make some freaking money. The Jets player props, it's definitely got to be Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele both were way too quiet in that last game. Let's make some freaking money. Puck dropping right away, you guys. We will be back tomorrow, noon Eastern. I believe we've got only 2 games tomorrow. Let me just double check tomorrow's schedule. I've looked over so many days in advance that I get confused. Oh, yeah, it's only 2 games. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Florida Panthers for Game 4, the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars back in Dallas here. So that series tied 2-2 apiece, and we're going into Game 5 tomorrow. So crazy to think, you guys. It's going to be a great day on the ice tomorrow. Larry, hell yeah. If you guys missed Larry's anytime goal scoring parlay, plus 79.60, definitely worth a freaking sprinkle. It is Byfield for the anytime goal for the LA Kings, Jake Neighbors for the anytime goal for the St. Louis Blues, Kyle Connor for the anytime goal for the Winnipeg Jets, and Nick Suzuki for the anytime goal for the Montreal Canadiens. Larry, I would suggest as well you take each of those players for a point tonight. Parlay it together. I would suggest you guys do that as well. Because if you're getting plus 79.60 on the anytime goal, those point parlayed together will cash as well. And you'd hate to see like Cole Caulfield get the goal and Nick Suzuki get the assist and not be able to cash that parlay because one of those guys gets the assist and not the actual goal. So I would do both. $1 to win 100 would be pretty damn sweet. That is for sure. Yeah, always put those sprinkles on those long shots for a couple of dollars out there. And yeah, don't put too much on parlays. The books want you to bet huge parlays, you guys, because they're so hard to hit. So always sprinkle on a parlay if you like it. Don't put a lot of money on it. But you guys, you're the absolute best. Thank you for joining me for the last 40 minutes here on Puck It with Jo on SportsGrid TV on X. Again, we'll see you tomorrow, noon Eastern. Yeah, just a drink. It's definitely worth a drink. Yeah. No one boo anyone's national anthems. Americans don't boo Canadians. Canadians don't boo Americans. Let's all just be friends, okay? Could we live in a more simple world where everyone loves each other? That would be, yeah, it's a gloomy day here. That is for sure. Have a good day, you guys. We'll see you back here noon Eastern tomorrow. Let's make some freaking money. Good luck to everyone out there. All good to see you today. And tomorrow, noon Eastern, be here. Hit that like, hit that retweet, hit that subscribe button. Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Winnipeg. Winnipeg's getting it done. Thanks, Flu. Let's make some freaking money. Talk to you guys tomorrow.